Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Uh, this is the Gospel according to MJG. I wanted to, for those of you who don't know, I have moved to Atlanta. I'm not really going to talk about the reasons why I've moved yet. I will in due course. I'm not even going to talk about the ratchet ass Greyhound customer service because, yeah, that's not what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about today is being a good neighbor. And we all, we hear in the news about immigrants and illegal immigrants and everything else about that. And there's a lot of fear that the government facilitates toward people who are not American citizens per se. But I just wanted to remind everyone that being an American and being a citizen of the world means that it's your responsibility to make sure that Americans and America are represented in the best light, particularly with your actions. Now, it was a 3 day, well, it turned out to be almost a 4 day trip due to the ratchetness of Greyhound and me getting here to Atlanta. But during the last leg of that trip, I actually met a young man named LeBron who was from Haiti, and he had just gotten here like 3 days prior. Um, and you can tell, you can see the signs. We sat next to each other. It was a full bus, obviously, and you make conversation when you're on long trips like that because you're going to get to know the people who are around you and hear different things. So I just, after having been on the bus for 2 days, I really just wanted to go ahead and introduce myself to the person who I was sitting next to. And I could tell that he was very uncomfortable. Like, it wasn't an energy like, don't talk to me, so much as it was an energy of, um, I don't want to talk, which I guess if I wasn't really paying attention to him as a person, I would have considered him being rude. But after I showed, like, I did different things, I showed him a book that I was reading and things like that. And from watching his body language, because the man actually, he's like 24, 25, but he actually like crouched in the corner of the window seat next to the bus, and I was just like, okay, he doesn't want to talk. But then as I realized, and he talked, said that he was from Haiti, and he was kind of listening to the conversation that was happening around us, him on the bus, but he wasn't really understanding, like he didn't respond to things that were funny or stuff that was kind of outrageous. I began to realize that the problem wasn't that he didn't want to talk. The problem was that he wasn't confident in his American speaking skills. So, being the type of person that I am, and this is not to pat myself on the back, this is just I love people, I love stories, and I wasn't going to sit there and bore because I can't read while in motion. I get motion sickness when I read. I was one of those kids that could do their homework last minute on the bus ride to school. Um, so what I did was I got on my cell phone and I went to translategoogle.com. And since I know he's from Haiti, I know he speaks French. I don't speak French that well, but I went ahead and I typed in something in English and then translated it to French, and I handed him my cell phone. And when he read that it was in French and he saw what I was doing, that started a dialogue and a conversation. And it's really very sad, and I don't know how you guys out there feel about it, but to come to a country and your very first interaction with Americans has to do with the immigration. That's your first interaction with America. Is somebody standing in your face and saying, "What the fuck are you doing here? What do you want?" You know, that's not a good first impression for anybody to go to any country. I know how I would feel if that was the welcome that I received. So even though he said that the people at the immigration were very nice to him, and he has family and friends who live here. That's how he got here. He got the invite. Um, but still, he talked to nobody. He was afraid to talk to somebody because his biggest fear is one of my biggest fears, which I'm sure is everyone else, which is being misunderstood. So I think about that, and I also thought about my friend Kwaku, who came here 20 years ago, about the same age as Renald LeBron is his name, Renald, and he also didn't know anybody. Came over from Africa and got on a Greyhound bus and rode it from New York to Los Angeles, and there were two white ladies who talked to him, my friend Kwaku, and so when I was talking to Renald, I thought about that story and I said, no, he needs to talk to somebody. Somebody needs to make the effort to communicate with him so that he doesn't feel like he's alone in this foreign country by himself and that nobody cares. So, long story short, the next 2 days we rode together and we talked for as long as my cell phone would stay charged. More ratchetness from Greyhound. Um, but yeah, back and forth. And then even when my cell phone wasn't charged and we couldn't talk, he started writing things down, and I began to see that his ability to read English and my understanding of French, what little I understood, so his ability to read and write and my understanding of reading and writing of French, even though it was very little, we were able to bridge the gap. And so I was able to learn a couple of words in French, and he was able to learn a couple of words in English. I actually taught him ratchet because that's the word that we were hearing on the bus. So he actually learned a new American jargon, ratchet, for me. I explained what that was and what it meant. So yeah, so that's what today's log is about today. Just being neighborly, being a good American. Just because somebody speaks with a foreign accent or they're not from America doesn't mean that they're an illegal immigrant. And even if they are, that still doesn't give you the right to disrespect them and not treat them like human beings. This has been M. Jason Graham. You know, a lot of people ask me who I am, and I let them know I'm a storyteller, just passing by. Remember that. See you next time.